Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you in another video. Alright, so came out of the Target, nothing special. Decided not to get myself a shaver. I didn't see the one I wanted. I did see it at the other Target in Hollywood. Figured they may have it, but their selection of shavers was a bit less plentiful. So I was like, I know exactly the one I want, how much it costs. They didn't have it. The other options they had, iffy. Looked like they needed to restock, so I'm like, nah, this just ain't the time to buy something like that. I'm sure that, one shaver is as good as any, but I had my mind on one, so whatever. Hey, can wait, not a big deal. Got everything I needed, headed back, no rain. Was able to do a 45-minute therapy session, walking around. I just didn't feel like just walking down here and walking back. I really wanted to walk, man. Today was one of them days where I legitimately wanted to walk. It's kind of unfortunate because it's raining, so it's kind of like you can't really just not be mindful of that if you're me. But I've missed the rain thus far. Hopefully on the way back here I'll miss it too. But yeah, I do feel like being out, man. This is not the day where I'm like, oh yeah, I just want to be in the house. Hell no, I don't. Not even a little bit. But it is what it is. So yeah, man, I just feel pretty good, man. I just want people to check out all the therapy sessions I've been leaving here. I think I've been leaving some pretty good ones as of late. Of course, I left also Laker videos here for you guys if you care about the team. And that's really what's on my mind right now. Not necessarily Laker stuff, but that I've left a lot of here that I've been proud of as of late. I've been praying, as you guys know, that I kind of have a life of prayer these days, where I spend a lot of my time meditating and thinking about how to best not make the same mistakes I made as a younger person. And of course, praying for specific people as the Lord has put it in my heart to do so. I just feel like with the voice that He's giving me, it's responsible for me to always check in with Him to ensure that He's using my voice for what it is He intends. Not just me running off whatever comes to mind within my ego or within my imagination, but to check in with something greater so that what I leave behind can be great. And I think that is something that I can say is my intention no matter what's going on ahead. There's so many different things that require substance of mind. And a lot of times we try so hard to fit in with the times and keep up with whatever is trending and all these different things, and we don't remind ourselves that there's a bigger picture, and that it is that we are leaving behind content from which to be found by a different generation in the future that's going to be left in the cloud. And some of this stuff that was trending is only going to be interesting as a reference point, or for those who have a passion for nostalgia, for which there will be few. And depending on how the times are ahead will determine how much time people have to waste on things that are outdated. But as it pertains to spiritual conversations and conversations that have to do with training one's mind to be better, or connecting with something greater than oneself, or how to handle emotional circumstances or mental health circumstances, those things age much better. They age much better than a lot of the stuff that is trending in a given moment, where you talk about a guy who said a certain thing and then 3 weeks later nobody even remembers he said it. That type of stuff doesn't hold as much weight unless it's attached to something that can be fruitful to people. And so that's why I'm like, man, I'm not exempt from speaking about trending topics. I like to do so, but me chasing whatever's trendy in a given moment is just a little too short-sighted for the reality of my understanding as it pertains to what it is I'm actually doing here. And that's really what it's about. I don't want to be a contrarian for no reason. I don't call myself someone who just goes against what everybody else is doing just because there's a lot of people doing it. But one who thinks for himself as it pertains to, okay, this for which you all agree to, chasing numbers and doing whatever you can for attention online, you're leaving behind a reputation that may not age very well. And we talk about things that age well and things that reflect poorly upon our names, things that reflect poorly upon our last names as it pertains to our generations ahead. We're embarrassing the heck out of our kids and our grandkids. And maybe there'll be a generation or two ahead of us who may not look at it that way. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down the road, as man continues to evolve, they're going to look at us like cavemen, as to where it was never actually that necessary that we be so far bankrupt as it pertains to conversations of substance and things that ultimately would be relevant to help them in the day they're in. And so that's why I speak the way I do. I look back on people who've left things here that people keep for generations and generations in the future. And it's usually things that help people with things that remain relevant regardless of the times they're in. And, my mother raised me to believe that, scenery changes, but circumstances and experiences remain the same. No matter what, we could be in the space, world tomorrow, but you still gonna have somebody who's dealing with some of the same emotional, situational, social circumstances that maybe you've been dealing with here. You know what I mean? And so that's why it's like, if you're not leaving something behind that's gonna be of substance, and you just trying to impress the people around you as if they're the only people that ever exist or ever will, your legacy is not going to be measured very great. And that's just what it is. Your legacy is going to be poor, trying to chase the attention of those who are alive today. A lot of people in the dark about a lot of things they're about to learn. You understand what I'm saying? The world is very, very bankrupt. It's still in the dark ages about certain things. Stone ages about certain things. I'm not chasing y'all as it pertains to keeping y'all happy. And we talk about right now, like that's what the sport of basketball is for. So I can remain relevant and in the times with that. But it pertains to what the celebrity decided to do. I don't know. Unless it's something that interests me, or something that I can derive some great things from in regards to substance of conversation, I'm inclined to think that I'm not better for talking about it. So I try to limit those conversations. But that's really what it's about, man. And a lot of people are like, well, the only thing that matters is the people around you. They're the only ones who are here to see and tell your story. It's like, but this is a camera. We're recording ourselves. I don't need a single soul to tell the story. I'm telling it myself. That's the beauty of the times I'm in. I'm not waiting for Tom, Dick, and Harry to tell the story of what my intentions were. Anybody that can access my channel in the future, it will be able to know exactly what my intentions was from day to day to day. You understand what I'm saying? It's just the privilege of the times we're in. And so too will our children have even greater privileges in that regard as this thing continues to evolve. So what am I leaving behind for them? What type of culture am I trying to give birth to or try to maintain? And a lot of what it is that we're up against is poor culture. It's a spiritually bankrupt culture, spiritually bankrupt practices that don't serve us at all. Poor choices and life choices and stuff like that we continue to try to reinforce our kids into thinking makes sense, only for them to fall into worse consequences for doing those things. They don't really hold much weight when you really consider it. Just trying to do what everybody else is doing, try to keep up with everybody else, worried about worldly things, as if you ain't gonna die anyway, as if, you know what I mean, that type of stuff. You want to maintain your dignity as it pertains to your legacy, especially when you're leaving an imprint on earth that is going to outlive you. You don't want to be out here just saying any old thing like everybody's teaching you to do. Follow what they talking about, following trends. That stuff have you suspended in midair. You ain't going to be remembered for nothing. It will not last. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying. I think that when you look around on my channel, you got almost a year's worth of stuff to listen to that of substance. Almost a year's worth of stuff. I don't know when this is going to end as it pertains to what I'm doing, but it's going to take a year to get through my entire channel of therapy sessions. And you're going to take so much from that, regardless of when you live that I expect that you will be a completely different person by the time you get through all of the entries that I plan on leaving behind. Completely different human being. And I think that a lot of the things that we've talked about, people can write books off of just a few things that I've spoken about in one video. You can write a whole book off of. And so that's why I'm like, man, I'm not chasing what everybody else is doing. I have such a bigger understanding of what I believe the Most High is trying to do here with me. I understand why it's so important that I speak of substance, because I can articulate things in a way that most people are not able to in the times we're living in. And that's really what it is. They're too busy distracted by whatever they're distracted by, or if they have this gift, are likely not with the privilege to be able to speak based on the circumstances involving the privileges they have within their collective countries. And the people who can do what I can do may not be legal for it. It may not be legal for them to speak. People who have the scope that I have may not have a camera from which to use because they're stuck in forced poverty or something stupid like that. For which is real. And that's what we need to understand. I could very easily have been born in Congo, and the only thing I could do is mine for cobalt or whatever it is. Could have very easily been born in those circumstances to which all these gifts that I'm able to display never get displayed, never even get realized by me who harbors them. These are also people I do it for those who can do it greater than me, who are not in a position from which to, based on circumstances that are outside of their control. The greatest minds, some of them have been aborted. The greatest people with the greatest ideas probably cut down as children in a genocide. Like, these are the type of things that I understand, deeply understand. And they weren't born the right color, so therefore the Jews don't want them here, so I guess they gotta go. Like, that's the type of thing that inspires me to use my freedom to speak on things that people are afraid to, because I know that people who are greater than me in a lot of cases don't have the privilege to utilize the tools that I'm able to be afforded, or are stuck in circumstances that don't allow for them to speak, or it isn't cool for them to, or what have you. They're stuck behind culture or responsibilities that just flat out don't allow for them to have the freedom to speak like I am able. And so with what it is I am able, it is incumbent upon me to respect that and use my voice for things that can be used by many generations to come, not just people who are alive today, but those who are coming, who ain't even here yet. People ain't even born yet. The kids of the kids who are in middle school and baby school right now. Those are the people of whom I make my videos for, so that they can look back on something that they can relate to, of a person who is here no more. Bdf 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.